What if I told you that a quarter, a single, ordinary, 25-cent coin sitting in your pocket right now could be worth anywhere from $300 to over $1,600 at auction? I'm not talking about ancient silver coins, I'm talking about quarters minted in your lifetime. The 1988, 1989, and 1991 Washington quarters, and collectors and auction houses are going absolutely crazy for the right ones. Today, we're counting down the top 3 most wanted, most valuable, and most jaw-dropping Washington quarters from these 3 killer years, and trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to want to raid your coin jar, your grandma's change bowl, and every vending machine return slot you've ever walked past. Let's start with number 3, the 1988 Washington quarter. Now, on the surface, this looks like any other clunky pocket change. Over 1 billion of these were made across the Philadelphia and Denver mints combined. But here's where it gets wild. Certain 1988 quarters with the wrong planchette error, meaning the quarter die accidentally struck a nickel or dime blank, instead are commanding between $200 and $1,000 at major auction houses. And an 1988 graded MS67, that's nearly flawless condition, once hammered down at heritage auctions for a stunning $1,645. Number 2, the 1989 Washington quarter. The Denver Mint cranked out nearly 8 million of these. That's roughly 3.5 coins for every single person living in America. At the time, you'd think that'd make them worthless, right? But you are wrong. According to PCS, the professional coin grading service, fewer than 25 examples have ever been certified at MS67 grade. The cream of the crop, one pristine, 1989, Philadelphia quarter, sold at heritage auctions for nearly $2,000 for a 1989 quarter that was probably once used to buy a pack of gum. And now number 1, the 1991 Washington quarter. This is the hidden gem, the sleeper hit of the Washington quarter world. Most people throw these away without a second thought. But a flawless 1991D in MS67 condition sold at auction in 2019 for an earth $1,680. And PCGS confirms that MS67 examples of the 1991 are so scarce that only a few dozen are known to exist in the entire world, and finding one for sale could take a collector over a year of searching. 1 year for a quarter. So before you spend that change on a coffee or toss it in a fountain, check your dates, check your mint marks, check your grades, because right now, somewhere out there, someone is sitting on a $1,600 coin and they have absolutely no idea. Don't let that someone be you. Stay with me, because in this video, I'm breaking down exactly what to look for, what errors to hunt, and how to sell these coins for maximum profit. Let's get into it. Welcome back, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and fellow numismatic obsessives. You are watching the channel where pocket change becomes life-changing money. And today we are diving deep into one of the most underestimated, misunderstood, and jaw-droppingly valuable coins hiding in plain sight, the 1988 Washington quarter, a coin that millions of Americans have tossed into tip jars, couch cushions, and parking meters without ever realizing they may have just thrown away hundreds, or in some shocking cases, thousands of dollars. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you will never look at a 1988 quarter the same way again. Let's start with the jaw-dropping history. The Washington quarter was born in 1932, struck to honor the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington, replacing the standing Liberty quarter in a move that numismatic historians still call one of the most significant redesigns in U.S. coinage history, featuring John Flanagan's iconic portrait of Washington on the obverse and a proud American eagle on the reverse. A design so beloved it endured for over 65 years. And by 1988, the U.S. Mint was producing these coins in absolutely staggering quantities at 2 major facilities. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck an eye-watering 562,052,000 quarters with no node mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which hammered out a mind-blowing 596,810,000 coins stamped with a bold D mint mark. But here is the bombshell that most casual collectors completely miss. High mintage does not mean low value, because within those hundreds of millions of coins, a small but electrifying number of catastrophic mint errors and breathtaking die varieties escaped quality control and entered circulation. And those coins are the ones that make seasoned collectors physically tremble when they find them. Now let's talk about the mint marks, because this is where it gets seriously exciting. The 1988 PY from Philadelphia carries no mint mark due to a long-standing tradition. The 1988D from Denver proudly displays that D. And then there is the crown jewel, the holy grail that sends collectors into an absolute frenzy, the 1988S proof quarter, struck at the San Francisco Mint exclusively for collector sets. Gleaming with mirror-like cameo surfaces, limited production, and in perfect PR70 DCAM grade. This coin has sold for prices that will make your eyes pop out of your head, because condition is everything in this game, and a flawless proof specimen is a thing of staggering, almost obscene, numismatic beauty. But wait, nothing and I mean absolutely nothing, compares to the heart-pounding, pulse-racing world of 1988 Washington quarter-era coins. The mistakes that became miracles, the blunders that became fortunes first. Let's talk about the doubled die error, where the working die was hubbed multiple times at slightly different angles, creating that unmistakable, ghostly doubling effect on Washington's portrait. The date, the motto "In God We Trust," or the lettering around the rim. And collectors are desperately hunting for strong doubled die examples, because confirmed specimens in MS-65 grade have commanded hundreds of dollars at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers, with the most dramatic doubling examples fetching even more from competitive bidders who know exactly what they are looking at. Next up, the OFF center strike, one of the most visually spectacular errors in the entire hobby, occurring when the coin blank slips out of perfect alignment before the dies slam shut, creating that bizarre, almost alien-looking partial design where part of Washington's face or the eagle is simply missing, replaced by a crescent of blank metal. And here is the shocking truth about value. A modest 5% off-center strike is mildly interesting, but a dramatic 50% off-center strike that still shows the complete date is considered the sweet spot by serious era collectors and can sell for anywhere from $150 to over $500 depending on the severity. Centering, and I appeal, because in the era coin world, the more dramatic the mistake, the more explosive the value. Then there is the clipped planchette error. Imagine a coin blank punched from a strip of metal that partially overlapped a previously punched hole, resulting in a quarter with a crescent-shaped chunk, literally bitten out of its edge, like someone took a nibble out of George Washington himself. And these curved clip errors on 1988 quarters are genuinely rare finds in circulation that can bring $50 to $200 at auction, depending on the size and drama of the clip, with straight clips and multiple clips commanding premium prices from specialists who focus exclusively on this fascinating error type. Now let's shatter your expectations with the wrong planchette error. This is the error that separates casual collectors from the serious big money players occasionally. A quarter-size blank intended for a dime, a nickel, or even a foreign coin would accidentally feed into the quarter dies, creating a hybrid monster coin that is neither fish nor fowl. And these wrong planchette quarters from any year, including 1988, are considered major errors that can sell for thousands of dollars at major auction events, because they represent a catastrophic failure of quality control that the U.S. Mint would desperately prefer never happened. And we absolutely cannot forget the broad strike error, where the collar die that normally constrains the coin and gives it that perfect round edge simply fails to engage, allowing the metal to spread outward freely under the force of the press, creating a coin that is wider, thinner, and slightly distorted compared to a normal quarter. These broad strikes have a magnificent, almost alien quality that makes them instant conversation pieces and legitimate auction material worth $50 to $150 for clean examples. Now, let's talk grades and values, because this is the information that separates the winners from the losers in the coin collecting game. A heavily circulated 1988P or 1988D quarter in good 4 or 5 grade is essentially face value, worth 25 cents. Nothing more, but, and this is a massive but, the same coin in mint state grades tells an entirely different story, with MS-63 examples trading for $2 to $5, MS-65 jumping to $8 to $15, and pristine MS-67 specimens certified by PCGS or NGC, the two most respected third-party grading services on the planet, selling for $50 to $200 or more, because at that grade level only a tiny fraction of the original mintage survives, and advanced registry set collectors will pay whatever it takes to own the finest known example. The 1988S proof in PR69 DCAM is worth $8 to $20 in today's market. But here is the bombshell: a perfect PR70 DCAM, the absolute pinnacle of perfection, has realized prices that would make your jaw hit the floor at premium auctions, where the rarest and finest coins command respect, because perfection is always worth paying for. Now, here is your action plan. Grab every 1988 quarter you can find. Hold it under strong raking light at an angle and look for doubling on the motto, date, and portrait. Check the edge for clips or irregularities. Weigh it on a precision digital scale, because a normal clad quarter weighs exactly 5.67 grams and significant deviation screams potential error. Examine the surfaces for die cracks, die caps, or repunch details. And if something looks even slightly suspicious, do not clean it, do not polish it, and do not spend it, because cleaning a coin destroys its numismatic value completely and permanently. A tragedy that coin collectors call cleaning with the same horror in their voices that art researchers reserve for defaced masterpieces instead. Take it to a reputable coin dealer, submit it to PCGS or NGC for professional authentication and grading, and prepare yourself for the possibility that the coin sitting in your pocket right now could be the find of a lifetime. The 1988 Washington quarter is proof absolute, undeniable, thrilling proof that history, artistry, human error, An extraordinary value can exist simultaneously on a tiny 24.3mm disc of copper-nickel alloy. And the next one you find just might be the coin that changes everything. So keep searching, keep learning, and until next time, never spend a coin before you examine it. Because fortune absolutely favors the sharp-eyed and the informed. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for weekly coin treasure hunts, and drop a comment below telling us the most valuable coin you have ever found. We read every single one and cannot wait to hear your story. The 1989 Washington quarter might look like an ordinary pocket change coin, but what if I told you that some of these seemingly common 25-cent pieces have stunned collectors, sparked bidding wars, and sold for astonishing prices far beyond face value? Welcome back to the channel, where hidden treasures meet everyday coins. And today we are diving deep into the fascinating mystery of the 1989 Washington quarter dollar coin. A coin many people ignore, yet one that can hide surprising rarity, dramatic errors, collector demand, and powerful value potential. First introduced as part of the long-running Washington quarter series honoring America's first president, George Washington, the quarter design created by sculptor John Flanagan had already become one of the most recognized coins in United States history by 1989. But while millions were struck that year, not all 1989 quarters are equal. Some are worn and common, yes, but others with sharp condition, unusual mint errors, scarce high-grade preservation, or special varieties can become real collector prizes. That is why searching through old jars, inherited collections, bankrolls, and forgotten drawers can be more exciting than ever. The obverse of the 1989 Washington quarter features the left-facing portrait of George Washington with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1989. The reverse displays the iconic eagle perched proudly with wings spread, clutching arrows and olive branches, surrounded by United States of America and quarter dollar. This classic reverse was nearing the final decade of its original run before the state quarters program changed everything in 1999, making pre-statehood quarters like the 1989 issue increasingly nostalgic and collectible. Now let's talk mint marks, because this is where the story gets interesting. In 1989, Washington quarters were struck at 3 United States mint facilities: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D mint mark, and San Francisco with an S mint mark for proof coins. Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of circulation coins. Denver also struck massive numbers. And San Francisco created specially made proofs for collectors with mirror-like fields and frosted devices. On the surface, those production totals make the 1989 quarter seem common. But remember this golden rule in coin collecting: high mintage does not always mean low value. Condition, errors, strike quality, and survival rates matter enormously. Let's start with the 1989 Philadelphia quarter. These no mint mark coins circulated heavily, and most examples found today are worn with scratches, dull luster, and bag marks. In circulated condition, they are usually worth face value or a small premium. But when found in uncirculated mint state grades, especially MS65 and above, values begin to climb. At MS66 and MS67, certified coins can sell for meaningful premiums because locating sharply struck, clean survivors is much harder than most people realize. Coins from large bags were banged against each other, creating marks before they even entered circulation. So a pristine 1989 quarter without distracting marks can become surprisingly scarce. Some top population coins have sold for hundreds of dollars when certified by leading grading services. Now let's move to the 1989 D Denver quarter. Denver also produced a huge number of quarters that year, and many entered commerce immediately. However, Denver issues can sometimes show stronger strikes than Philadelphia coins, though bag marks remain common. A brilliant, sharply detailed 1989D in high mint state can attract collectors building registry sets. MS66 and MS67 examples can command premiums, while elite condition coins at the very top of the census may sell for hundreds or even more, depending on demand. The difference between a face value quarter and a premium quarter often comes down to tiny details invisible to casual observers. That is why magnification and proper lighting are powerful tools. Now let's discuss the San Francisco 1989 S-proof quarter, a coin specially struck for collectors rather than circulation. Proof quarters were sold in annual proof sets and display mirror-like surfaces with strong contrast. Many survive because collectors preserved them carefully, but top-tier deep cameo examples with flawless surfaces can still be desirable. If you own unopened proof sets or original government packaging, these may contain beautiful 1989 S quarters worth more than face value. Cameo and deep cameo designations often add appeal, because the frosted portrait contrasts dramatically against mirrored fields. Perfect proof grades, such as PR70, can sell for impressive premiums, especially when demand rises. But now we enter the thrilling territory everyone loves most: mint errors and varieties. Could a 1989 quarter worth thousands be hiding in plain sight? It is possible. Error coins happen when something goes wrong during the minting process, and collectors often pay strong money for dramatic mistakes. One exciting category is off-center strikes. If the blank planchette was misaligned when struck, part of the design may be missing while the date remains visible. Depending on how dramatic the error is, off-center 1989 quarters can sell for significant premiums. Another powerful error type is broad strike, where the collar fails and the coin spreads wider than normal with no reeded edge. These odd-looking coins attract attention quickly. Then there are clipped planchettes, where the metal blank was improperly cut before striking, leaving a curved missing section. Authentic clips with proper metal flow can be very collectible. Double strikes are another thrilling possibility. Imagine a quarter struck once, then struck again slightly off alignment, producing overlapping images. Such pieces can be dramatic and valuable. Collectors also search for doubled die varieties, where the die itself carried doubled design elements from the hubbing process. If lettering, date, digits, or design features show true doubling, value can rise sharply. Machine doubling exists too, but that is different and usually less valuable, so careful attribution matters. Die cracks and code errors can also appear on 1989 quarters. A die crack is a raised line caused by a fractured die, while a cut occurs when a broken piece of the die falls away, creating a raised blob of metal on the coin. Larger, dramatic cuts can attract strong premiums because they are visually striking and easy to recognize. Misaligned die errors may show one side centered and the other shifted. Wrong planchette errors are among the most sensational of all. If a quarter was mistakenly struck on a planchette intended for another denomination or foreign coin, the resulting piece may have incorrect weight, color, or size. Such authenticated wrong planchette errors can sell for hundreds or even thousands depending on rarity and demand. Imagine finding a quarter that looks too small, too light, or strangely colored. Never dismiss it without checking. Let's talk about grading because condition can transform value dramatically. Coin grading uses a scale from 1 to 70, with mint state for uncirculated coins and proof designations for collector strikes. A worn 1989 quarter may be worth only 25 cents. But an MS67 certified example with blazing luster and clean surfaces can bring real money. Why? Because few survive in elite condition. Modern coins were mass-produced and stored in bags, causing contact marks. That means truly pristine examples are scarcer than their mintages suggest. Registry set competition can push prices higher when collectors compete for the finest known examples. Auction records tell shocking stories. While average circulated 1989 quarters remain common, certified top-grade examples and dramatic errors have sold for many multiples of face value. In some cases, collectors pay hundreds for condition rarities and even more for spectacular mint mistakes. The lesson is simple. Never judge a coin only by its date. Two quarters from 1989 can differ wildly in value depending on grade and uniqueness. What should you look for when searching? First, inspect mint marks. No mint mark means Philadelphia, D means Denver, S means San Francisco proof. Next, check luster. Uncirculated coins shine with original mint frost or brilliance. Then inspect surfaces for scratches, gouges, stains, or wear. Examine the hair detail on Washington, eagle feathers on the reverse, lettering sharpness, and rim quality. Use a magnifying glass to hunt doubling, cracks, clips, or strange shapes. Weigh suspicious coins with a digital scale. A standard-clad Washington quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, so significant deviation may indicate an error or damage. But beware, many damaged coins are mistaken for rare errors. Parking lot, flattening, heat damage, tool marks, and dryer coins can mimic mint mistakes. Authentication by respected grading services is crucial for expensive finds. Another reason the 1989 quarter draws attention is historical context. America in 1989 was witnessing major world change, the fall of Cold War barriers, technological shifts, and a new era approaching. Coins from that year capture a snapshot of history. For some collectors, assembling date sets from meaningful years adds sentimental demand beyond metal value. The Washington Quarter series itself carries enormous popularity, ensuring continued collector interest. Let's talk scarcity myths. Some online rumors claim every 1989 quarter is rare or worth thousands. That is false. Most are common circulation coins worth face value. However, certain examples truly are valuable. High-grade certified coins, proof perfection, and genuine mint errors. The smart collector separates hype from evidence. Learn grading, verify sales records, and compare certified populations. That is how real treasure hunters win. If you inherit a jar of old quarters, should you search for 1989 pieces? The 1991 Washington quarter might look like just another everyday pocket coin. Something countless people ignored, spent, dropped in jars, or tossed into drawers for decades. But hidden behind that ordinary appearance is a fascinating story packed with history, surprising value, collector obsession, mint varieties. dramatic auction prices, rare errors, and the thrilling possibility that one small 25-cent coin could be worth far more than face value if it has the right traits. When most people think of valuable quarters, they imagine silver coins from the early 1900s or legendary key dates. Yet many modern Washington quarters from the late 20th century have become increasingly popular because collectors now realize that condition rarity, mint state preservation, striking errors, and overlooked varieties can transform common coins into highly desirable treasures. The 1991 Washington quarter belongs to the long-running Washington quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, replacing the standing Liberty quarter. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse features the dignified portrait of Washington facing left, while the reverse, used through 1998, shows a proud eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing readiness for war and desire for peace. This classic design remained familiar to generations of Americans, meaning the 1991 issue represents one of the final years before the dramatic state quarters program changed the reverse forever in 1999. That fact alone gives 1991 quarters a special historical place. They are part of the closing chapter of the original Eagle reverse era, making them nostalgic and increasingly studied by collectors who want complete data. In 1991, the United States Mint produced Washington quarters at Philadelphia and Denver for circulation, while San Francisco struck proof examples for collectors. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. Denver pieces display a small D mint mark, and proof coins from San Francisco bear the S mint mark. Massive numbers were struck because quarters were essential for commerce, vending machines, transit systems, laundromats, and arcade machines, so millions entered circulation immediately. Because of that enormous mintage, worn 1991 quarters found in change today usually carry only face value. Yet that is where the casual observer makes a shocking mistake. Mintage alone does not determine rarity. What matters most in modern coins is survival in exceptional condition, plus scarce varieties and minting mistakes. Countless 1991 quarters were heavily used, scratched, cleaned, damaged, stained, or worn smooth through circulation. Truly pristine examples, with booming luster, razor-sharp strikes, untouched surfaces, and elite grading levels such as MS67 or MS68 are dramatically harder to find than most people imagine. This creates a modern rarity phenomenon where a coin, once made by the hundreds of millions, becomes astonishingly scarce in top condition. Let us begin with the 1991 Philadelphia quarter. Since no mint mark appears on these coins, beginners sometimes think something is missing, but that is normal for Philadelphia circulation quarters of the time. Most circulated 1991 Philadelphia quarters are worth 25 cents, perhaps a small premium in brilliant uncirculated rolls or mint sets. However, when professionally graded in superb mint state, values can rise sharply. Coins graded MS65 may bring modest premiums, but gem examples graded MS67 and above can attract serious collector money because very few survive with perfect surfaces. A high-end registry set collector competing for finest known coins may pay startling amounts for a coin with just one extra grading point. This is where modern quarter markets become explosive. The 1991 Denver quarter, marked with a D, follows a similar pattern. Denver often produced coins with stronger strikes, though this varies by die state and production conditions. Many Denver coins circulated heavily and show bag marks or dull luster. Yet a sharply struck satiny, nearly flawless 1991 D quarter in top grade can command prices that shock people who thought it was only spare change. Registry competition through grading companies has pushed elite examples to strong auction results whenever finest known pieces appear. Then there is the 1991 S-proof quarter, struck for collectors using polished dies and specially prepared planches. These proof coins feature mirror-like fields and frosted devices, creating beautiful cameo contrast. Many survive because collectors saved them, but the finest deep cameo pieces with no haze, no spots, and perfect grades such as PR69 or PR70 remain highly desired. Some proof quarters may be worth modest sums, while ultra-gem certified examples can reach much stronger prices because perfection is never common. Now let us discuss the thrilling topic that captures YouTube viewers instantly: errors and varieties. A normal 1991 quarter may be common, but an error quarter can become a prize. One exciting possibility is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchette is not properly centered between the dies, causing part of the design to be missing while a blank crescent remains. Minor off-centers bring premiums, while dramatic off-centers with visible date can bring much more. Another famous error is a broad strike, where the collar die fails to contain the coin, allowing it to spread wider and lose its reeded edge. These strange-looking coins immediately attract attention. Then there are clipped planchettes, where a portion of the blank was cut incorrectly from the metal strip, leaving a curved missing section. Genuine clips show metal flow characteristics and can be valuable depending on size and eye appeal. Double strikes are especially dramatic. Imagine a quarter struck once, then struck again slightly off alignment, creating ghosted overlapping images. Such coins often become centerpieces of collections because they visually demonstrate the minting process gone wrong. Die cracks and code errors are also popular. When a die begins to crack, raised lines appear on the coin. If part of the die breaks away entirely, blobs of raised metal called cuds can form along the rim. These can be minor or spectacular. Collectors love bold examples because each die break tells a story of a tool reaching the end of its life under immense pressure. Another area of fascination is doubled dies. This is different from machine doubling. A true doubled die occurs during die creation and shows genuine doubled design elements such as letters, numbers, or Washington's features. Some minor doubled die varieties may exist for 1991 quarters, and specialists search rolls hoping to discover underreported examples. Machine doubling, by contrast, usually appears flat and shelf-like and carries less premium. Repunched mint marks are less relevant by 1991 because mint marks were being added differently than earlier decades. But die anomalies involving mint marks can still create collectible pieces. Wrong planchette errors are among the most shocking modern quarter finds. Imagine a 1991 quarter struck on a nickel planchette, cent planchette, foreign blank, or experimental stock. These pieces may weigh differently, appear smaller or oddly colored, and can sell for large amounts when authenticated. Transitional metal errors are more famous in other denominations, but any confirmed wrong planchette quarter from 1991 would create major excitement. Missing clad layer errors also deserve attention because Washington quarters were copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core. If one outer clad layer is missing, the coin may appear coppery on one side and weigh less than normal. If both outer layers are absent, the coin can look dramatically copper-colored. These errors are highly collectible when genuine. Collectors should always weigh suspicious coins and compare to standard specifications. Another hidden value factor is strike quality. Even non-error, 1991 quarters with exceptionally full hair detail on Washington and crisp eagle feathers on the reverse can sell better than weakly struck counterparts in the same grade. Eye appeal matters tremendously. Brilliant luster, rainbow toning, and original surfaces can elevate value. Some quarters stored in albums or old holders develop vivid blues, golds, magentas, and greens. Natural attractive toning can inspire bidding wars, while ugly environmental damage destroys value. Never clean a coin. This warning cannot be repeated enough. Cleaning leaves, hairline's unnatural shine, and surface impairment that drastically lowers collector demand. Thousands of people ruin potentially valuable coins by polishing them. If you find a promising 1991 quarter, leave it exactly as found. Use gloves or hold by the edges and store it safely. Auction history reveals how modern quarters can surprise the public. While ordinary circulated 1991 quarters sell for face value, certified top population examples have realized hundreds or even thousands depending on grade, designation, timing, and collector competition. Why would anyone pay that much? Because advanced collectors build registry sets where each coin must be certified by a grading service, and the highest strength sets often require the finest known specimen for every date and mint. If only a handful of 1991 quarters exist in MS68, then demand can skyrocket when one appears. Prices can fluctuate, but the possibility remains real. This is why checking auction archives is so important. One astonishing sale can wake the hobby to a date previously ignored. For beginners hunting 1991 quarters, where should you look? Start with pocket change, bankrolls, inherited jars, old dresser drawers, vending machine returns, estate collections, and unopened mint sets. Search under strong light with a magnifier.